What's good, YouTube? Welcome back to MKE MANIACI, and today we got WrestleMania's 10 biggest WWE Royal Rumble botches that left Vince angry, man. Now listen, Royal Rumble this weekend, and you know I could think of a few Royal Rumble botches that I've seen in my lifetime, man. One specifically, who could forget Royal Rumble 2005? John Cena and Batista both going over at the same time. Vince tearing his body up on the way down to the ring. In the Royal Rumble match, man, there's so much room for error, especially when you try to incorporate the stunts, man. We seen that evident with Kofi Kingston last year, man. So nonetheless, we're going to get right into it. 10 biggest Royal Rumble botches. Let's get it.
Rumble is without question one of the most exciting scheduled matches on the WWE calendar. The match has been prone to some incredibly memorable botches over the years. The most infamous of these took place in 2005 when the planned finish of the Royal Rumble match went completely wrong.
And it's crazy. I mean, yeah, both Cena and Batista both main evented WrestleMania that year. So they could have, played it off either way. But it's crazy that both of them actually hit at the same time. So luckily, this worked in WWE's favor.
Took place in 2005 when the planned finish of the Royal Rumble match went completely wrong and Vince McMahon stormed down to the ring, tearing his quads in the process. Outside of this iconic botch, there have been some unbelievable botches in the decorated history of the match that need to be seen to be believed. Join us now as WrestleMania looks at 10 of the most insane Royal Rumble botches. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new channel, WrestleMania Shorts. Number 10, Randy Orton's Pyro Botch. Randy Orton would win his first Royal Rumble in 2009, and his win was supposed to help further the ongoing storyline between himself and the McMahon family. As is traditionally custom for the winner of the Royal Rumble, they usually point to the WrestleMania sign, then extensive pyro will be summoned. However, in 2009, the pyro malfunctioned, meaning that Orton pointed at the WrestleMania sign and nothing happened. During this time, Orton had documented issues with his anger.
If I remember correctly, the pyro did go off, though, after Orton won. Like, I specifically, because I got Royal Rumble 2009 on DVD. I bought the DVD when it first came out. I'm pretty sure, like, right before it ended, it was a ton of fireworks going off. Like,
and it was evident that Orton was getting more and more irritated. Orton then attempted it once again, only for it to finally work.
That was what it was.
A poor botch from WWE's pyro team, as he should have had the pyro in question ready, but mistakes can unfortunately happen in all areas of production. Number 9, John Cena's terrible landing. The 2004 iteration of the Royal Rumble was widely praised at the time, but since the match was won by Chris Benoit, the match is rarely acknowledged and has been labelled as the Forgotten Royal Rumble.
Yeah.
But upon rewatching the match back, the match is a clear indication that John Cena was the next top guy in the company, as he was without a question one of the most over wrestlers in the match, and the crowd reaction to his elimination spoke volumes when it came to fan interest in him at the time. Cena's elimination in the 2004 Rumble was unfortunately botched, and there was immediate concern for Cena's welfare. Cena would be eliminated by the Big Show, and his leg landed awkwardly. It looked like Cena was instantly hurt. Cena had torn his MCL, but Cena somehow didn't miss any substantial time away from WWE television, and he was once again wrestling just a few days later.
Yep.
Number 8.
And it even worked out that year. Cena fought the Big Show at WrestleMania for the US title. See, this stuff, it always works out in WWE's favor.
WWE television, and he was once again wrestling just a few days later. Number 8. Titus O'Neil's failed elimination. The 2015 Royal Rumble was an utter disaster for WWE. They booked the match completely backwards, and it resulted in one of the worst Rumble matches of all time. Due to the match ending itself being so poorly received, many fans overlooked the botches in the match itself. One of these took place with Titus O'Neil's elimination. The plan was for O'Neil to enter the match and immediately be eliminated by Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins, but O'Neil somewhat hilariously couldn't get over the ropes. It was awkward and the spot had to be redone, which didn't look the best upon execution. This would be the first of 2 Royal Rumble botches for O'Neil, as just 3 years later he would notoriously slip and slide under the ring during the greatest Royal Rumble. Number 7, Kofi Kingston's luck runs out.
Yeah.
A former WWE champion, Kofi Kingston has crafted out an impressive Royal Rumble legacy without even winning the match. Kingston has been able to avoid elimination in some of the most exciting ways imaginable, and these have now become Royal Rumble highlights each year. In 2022, unfortunately, his luck ran out, as his elaborate Rumble save was botched. Kingston would enter the match at number 24, and when he was pushed off the top rope by Kevin Owens, Kingston landed on the barricade. It appeared that Kingston was holding himself upon the barricade, avoiding letting his feet hit the floor, but sadly his feet had already touched the ground.
One of the things that you gotta acknowledge though, but I feel like Kofi Kingston's Royal Rumble thing every year, I think it was kind of like a, there's so much room for error. I don't think Vince would get mad. I think it would just be like, okay, well, that ends that type thing. I don't think, it was something like, you got to get this right or else you're fired. Like, I feel like, they was like, let's keep trying our luck every year until this happens. It was inevitable that one day it was going to happen. But
WWE would replay this spot, and it was ruled that Kingston was indeed eliminated. They received credit for not insulting the viewer's intelligence, and it was appreciated that WWE called it in a legitimate manner.
Yeah.
Number 6, Stone Cold Steve Austin's accidental elimination. The 1996 Royal Rumble pay-per-view saw Stone Cold Steve Austin make his WWE debut as the Ringmaster. They had huge plans for his character, and booking plans called for Austin to make it until the final 4 of the match. Unfortunately, there was just one issue. Austin was accidentally eliminated early and subsequently wasn't able to make it to the final 4.
Dang.
This accidental elimination occurred when the future Rikishi charged at Austin with a clothesline with a little too much force, and Austin stumbled right over the top rope and he was unable to hang on.
And I know Rikishi definitely heard that from Vince, man. That's not even Austin's fault. I think that was definitely Rikishi's fault.
Hilariously, Vince McMahon, who was on commentary, decided to outright ignore it, but when his commentary partner Mr. Perfect mentioned it, McMahon had no choice but to state that Austin was indeed eliminated. Austin would discuss his infamous botch on his podcast, and this is what the WWE legend had to say. We were at the Royal Rumble and I was supposed to be finishing 4th in the match. So your first year in the company and you're going to be the 4th to last guy left in the ring. That's a pretty good rub. I was doing a spot with, I believe it was Fatu, I can't remember, one of the Samoans. And man, he had a lot of baby oil on. All the guys were oiled up and so the ropes were very slippery. I was going to do a deal where he does something to me and I was going to take a bump over the top, hang on to the top rope, come back in the bottom. Well, zip zip boom, I lost my grip. Fell out on my keister down by the guardrail. Number 5, the Great Khali forgets about the hard camera. WWE Hall of Famer the Great Khali has been known to botch a move or two in his career, but his botch at the 2007 Rumble was borderline laughable. When Khali made his entrance and cleared house, this was to set up The Undertaker entering the match and subsequently eliminating the 7-foot giant. Upon cleaning house in the match, Khali missed his cue and forgot to pose in front of the hard camera. Michaels could see that Khali was posing towards the wrong camera and he had no choice but to break character and inform him to pose over towards the correct side of the arena.
How do you even notice stuff like this though? Like, this was one of my favorite Royal Rumble matches. This was the first year they had ECW in the Royal Rumble. So this one is one of my very special Royal Rumble matches that I hold near and dear to myself. So, okay. I would have never noticed that. And shout out to veteran Shawn Michaels for doing that for Khali, man, because that's definitely like a statement moment for the Khali character at that time.
Character and inform him to pose over towards the correct side of the arena. It was incredibly obvious what HBK was saying, but the spot ultimately wouldn't have had the same effect if HBK didn't take control of the situation.
Yeah.
Number 4, Alex Riley almost ruins the 2011 Royal Rumble. One of the main storyline aims of 2011's Royal Rumble was to develop the feud between The Miz and John Cena ahead of WrestleMania 27. The Miz's protege Alex Riley would be a big part in this, but his early accidental elimination in the Rumble match threw a spanner in the works. Riley would slip over the top rope after just 3 minutes in the match, and WWE had to rethink how they were going to handle Cena's elimination, as initial plans called for Riley to eliminate Cena with the help of The Miz. WWE quickly improvised and had already eliminated Riley, which would distract Cena only for The Miz, who was on commentary at the time, to enter the match and eliminate Cena. Number 3,
and it's crazy because I think Alex Riley and Cena don't like each other in real life. I'm not sure if that's true, but yeah.
Who was on commentary at the time to enter the match and eliminate Cena.
And I never like that rule of somebody that's not even in the match being able to eliminate somebody. I think it's just kind of a dumb rule. I don't think that should be a thing.
3, a major botch turns into a storyline. The Rock's defining moment was to be at the 2000 Rumble, as he would win the match and get set to headline WrestleMania 16. The only problem was that the finish of the Rumble match was botched, meaning that technically The Rock didn't even win the match, and the match victory should have been awarded to The Big Show. The finish of the match saw Big Show attempt to throw The Rock over the top rope, only for the Great One to hold on, and then the Big Show would fall to the floor. This spot sounded great on paper, but The Rock's feet sadly touched the floor before the Big Show's, meaning that the finish was completely botched. They decided to turn this into a storyline where Big Show would declare that he was the rightful winner of the match, which was a smart thing to do, as it would have been nonsensical for the WWE to ignore such a huge blunder.
But at this time, though, I will say, the internet wasn't as prominent. You didn't have all the dirt sheets and Twitter to point out all this stuff. So I feel like a lot of fans wouldn't have noticed it. If they would have just let it be, you could work camera angles. This was a different time, you know, so they could have got away with it. So technically, does that mean the Big Show won a Royal Rumble?
Number 2, backstage chaos at the 2022 Royal Rumble. Shane McMahon didn't have his finest showing at the 2022 Royal Rumble, as his antics both backstage and in the ring led to his own father Vince McMahon firing him. McMahon was pushing for himself to be the star of the match, which naturally didn't go down well with other talents, and his performance in the match was less than stellar. One of the major botches McMahon was involved in took place before he'd even come down to the ring. The Rumble running order declared that the WWE Great Randy Orton would enter the match at number 28, whilst McMahon would enter at 29. However, when the time came for Orton to make his entrance, McMahon's entrance music played accidentally, meaning that Shane had to quickly make his entrance. According to backstage reports, Orton found the botch incredibly funny and was reportedly almost on the floor with laughter. And number 1.
And it's funny because, you know, Randy Orton, you know, shout out Randy, you know, he's a legend though, but this is a guy I would not want to be involved in a botching. You've seen what happened with Kofi Kingston. We've seen what happened with Mr. Kennedy. You know, Orton, you botched something with Orton, I mean, but being a big man, I guess, okay.
Incredibly funny and was reportedly almost on the floor with laughter. And number 1, WWE production miss an iconic spear. Botches don't just happen with wrestlers themselves, as WWE's production team are prone to making huge blunders from time to time. Take for instance the 2020 Royal Rumble, as Edge had just come out of retirement after 9 years and had delivered his first spear. However, for whatever reason, the camera panned away and showed fans celebrating. The fact that they missed such an iconic moment was heavily criticized by fans and even fellow WWE talent. The individual who took Edge's first spear back was Dolph Ziggler, and Ziggler was furious as he decided to take to Twitter to air his grievances. Who cuts away from an official in-ring return while two opponents are running towards each other?
Honest mistake.
People make mistakes, we all do, and I've made tons. That being said, a very special moment was inexplicably missed. Anyone got cell phone footage? The backlash to the production botch was so severe that WWE would edit footage of the Rumble. Instead of panning away, the official footage of the 2020 Rumble now includes the shot of the spear. But there you have it, folks, 10 of the most insane
wonder
Royal
if that
Rumble
guy's still employed. The 10 biggest WWE Royal Rumble botches that left Vince angry. Do y'all think we gonna see any botches this Saturday? Y'all feel like Kofi's gonna, if the New Day are in the Royal Rumble, you feel like Kofi might try to, you know, get back for last year, man? Y'all let me know. Sound off in the comment section down below. Y'all new to the channel, y'all rock with me. Want more wrestling related content? Whoa, want more wrestling related content, man? Hit that subscribe button for me, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Thank you for watching MKE MANIACI. I'm out.